Hi, I'm Rich Torrey. Welcome to another Level Up Cartooning. All you ever need to follow along with me is a pencil and paper. It doesn't get any easier than that, right? Now, before we get started, make sure you hit the thumbs up and the subscribe button as it helps this channel to grow, and hit the bell so you never miss a lesson. So we're halfway through our holiday drawing season, drawing some of the great characters and scenes from animated TV specials and holiday movies that mark this time of year. We've drawn Ebenezer Scrooge from the 2009 Disney version of A Christmas Carol starring Jim Carrey as Scrooge. And last week we drew the Grinch carving the roast beast along with Cindy Lou Who and Max in the final scene from How the Grinch Stole Christmas. This week we're going to draw one of the iconic scenes from another holiday TV special, Rankin and Bass's 1969 classic, Frosty the Snowman. We've all seen the scene where Frosty and the town's children are parading around the village square as Jimmy Durante sings the classic song Frosty the Snowman. That's what we're going to attempt to draw, Frosty and the 5 children. Are we up to the challenge? Of course we are. So let's get started. We're going to draw our Frosty parade scene step by step, giving you the secret formula to be able to draw it again and again. If you've watched any of my other videos, you know I normally use the characters' heads to figure out how big the entire character is. Let's start with Frosty, who is a little over 3 heads tall in our drawing. In other words, however tall his head is, his entire body is just over 3 of those tall, not counting his top hat. Then we have the children. The twin boys and the boy at the end are also roughly 3 heads tall. In other words, however tall their heads are, their entire bodies are 3 of those tall. The last boy being slightly shorter than the twins. And finally, we have the 2 girls, who are slightly over 2 heads tall. In other words, however tall their heads are, their entire bodies are just a bit over 2 of those tall. And one other thing, the tallest boys' heads will be just about even with Frosty's nose, and the girls' heads will be just about even with Frosty's elbow. Just something to use when you're laying out your scene, okay? So what do you say we get started with a roadmap for our scene from Frosty the Snowman? So there's our roadmap for our Frosty parade scene. Now before we go on to step 2, I want to give you the layout of our characters' body poses using simple shapes for those of you who want to screen grab. Just something to help you when laying out your drawing. Okay, so now we're on to step 2. In this step, we do what I call roughing out the features. I want to remind you that until the 3rd and final step, you want to be drawing as light as possible. You'll see that I use guidelines to help you know where to put our characters' eyes, noses, and mouths. We don't want those guidelines in the final drawing, so you want to draw them light enough to be able to erase them easily. Okay, so let's rough out the features for our scene for the 1969 Rankin Bass classic, Frosty the Snowman. Okay, so there are the roughed out features for Frosty and the Townschildren. So now with the roadmap done and the features roughed out, it's time for that final step. In step 3, we get to have fun. We get to draw in the final details of our scene from Frosty the Snowman. We don't have to guess where to put things because we've already done all the hard work figuring that out. This is where you want to pause and look at your drawing while it's still lightly sketched out and fix or change things before then committing the drawing to those final lines. But understand, even as you begin those final lines, you should still be thinking about how you might improve your drawing all the way until the very end. Okay? So let's draw in the details for our Frosty parade scene. And that's how you do it. And there you have it, our iconic parade scene of Frosty and the Townschildren for the 1969 Rankin Bass animated version of Frosty the Snowman. So how do you think you did? Understand if you've never drawn any drawing of Frosty before, let alone with all the kids, then you can't expect to have drawn them perfectly. You notice I don't spend time coloring our Frosty parade scene during this video because I want my lesson to focus solely on the drawing process. Now you have the secret formula, the process for drawing our scene from Frosty the Snowman. And with that you can draw it again and again, and by all means color it when you're done. I promise each time you draw it, it'll be a little better and a little easier. I also promise the more you work with me, the better you're going to get at all of your cartoon characters. So I'd love to see your Frosty parade scene drawing. If you can, take a picture and post it on either Facebook or Instagram, and don't forget to include the hashtag #LevelUpCartooning. So I hope you had as much fun as I did with this one. Remember to subscribe, and thanks for joining me. Until next time, keep drawing, my friends.